Hey, what's going on, guys? Adam here. I hope you're having an awesome day and welcome to the channel. In this video, we're going over my free automated dividend and portfolio tracker. If you're anything like me, you like tracking the numbers on your investments, including dividends. It's important to know whether you can afford that 20-cent iced coffee for the day. But actually, it is a really good idea just to check up on your portfolio just to make sure that everything's looking good. If you do some internet research, you'll find that there's not many simple and accessible dividend and portfolio trackers out there. Most of them either require money or are extremely complicated or are just a scummy way of collecting emails. And that is why I'm making this video. Not naming any names here, but if mine isn't the first one that you found, you probably know what I'm talking about. All you need is a Google account to access Google Drive, and to pet the like button for the YouTube algorithm, both of which are free, I'm just saying. I'll also show you how to use the spreadsheet too, because there are a few things that you will need to set up. Quick shout out to Andre Jick and his community for inspiration on this spreadsheet. I'm a big fan of their layout and his channel in general. All right, let's jump into it. Oh, whoa, who put this here? Well, might as well do what it says if we want this tracker to work. The first thing you need to do is make a copy of the file, and you can do this by selecting File and Make a Copy. This will save it to your Google Drive so that you can start making edits. The only columns you will have to touch are A, B, E, I, and N, or Abe-in for short. Just think of Abraham Lincoln walking into Ford's Theater. Oh. Actually, wait, that's where yeah, that's kind of fucked up. Okay, just think of Abraham Lincoln walking to the White House or something. First, in column A, you should enter the symbols of the investments that you own. So you can see here that I have this filled out with regular stocks like Apple, ETFs like FTech, and mutual funds like FXAIX. You can overwrite these to make it your own and add more to the bottom. You might want to add a row in the middle because your OCD requires it to be in alphabetical order. Trust me, I'm very familiar with that. Just right-click on a normal row with a symbol, not the headers, and choose either insert above or below. So let's do below for this. Then to bring in all the formulas, click any row number and click copy, or Command or Control C. Then click the newly inserted row and click paste, or Command or Control V. And then you can just go ahead and edit whatever info you need to in here. You can also drag down each cell like this, but for just a single row, the first way is much easier. And to delete a row, just right-click the row that you want to delete and then select Delete Row. So now you know how to enter your investment symbols in column A. You will need to enter the number of shares you own for each symbol in column B. Pretty straightforward up to this point. Next, for each symbol, you enter the total cost basis including fees in column E. This is where things differ depending on your investing platform. All right, so here's how to get the total cost basis with Fidelity. In your account, select whatever portfolio you want, then find your symbol, so any of these guys, and simply scroll over to the total cost basis column, which is right over here. Make sure you take the total cost basis and not the per share cost basis. And that's it. So easy, even a caveman can do it.
What? Oh, no, not cool.
No offense to cavemen. This is one of the many reasons I love Fidelity. They make getting all of this information extremely easy. I'm not sponsored by them or anyone else for that matter, but you should definitely go check them out. If your platform doesn't show the total, just take the per share cost basis and multiply it by the amount of initial shares that you purchased. And that will be your number for column E. Finally, you can enter the initial shares for each symbol or just leave it in column N. This one can get a little bit tricky with like dividend reinvestments and multiple buys at different prices. You can also put multiple rows for each purchase if you want to track them separately, like I did here with Disney. The initial shares are only used to calculate the yield on your original cost basis, so if you don't care about that, then that's okay, just leave it. For regular stocks and ETFs, this is all you need to do. The rest will be automatically calculated for you. For mutual funds, you'll need to do one more step, and that is enter in the yearly dividends manually. There's a column at the end here that will tell you which ones you need to do it for. There's no reliable way to automate this since the amount of dividends and the frequency that they're paid out varies a lot. Some are monthly, some are quarterly, some pay out the exact same dividend each time, and some pay out different dividends each time. The whole point of mutual funds is that they diversify your long-term holdings, so most people don't have a lot of these and aren't actively trading them. It's not too heavy of a lift, and it's not like you're updating this more than once a quarter anyway. Getting this information is actually very easy to do since most brokers have a record of dividends paid on their platform. I'll show you how to get it from Fidelity. All right, so head to their website, fidelity.com, And in the search bar, type the name of the mutual fund in and press enter. So we're gonna look at FXAIX, hit that. You can also just Google the symbol plus Fidelity, but this is a more surefire way. From the funds page, click more in the details box. Then in the distribution section under the dividend history, you'll find at least 1 year's worth of dividend payments. Simply take the last 1 year of dividends, add them up, and enter it in the corresponding symbols row in column I. You can overwrite the entire formula like this, so you can say equals 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 equals 10. Wouldn't that be nice to have a $10 dividend? Or you can enter it in place of the 0 at the end of the formula like this. So I know there's a lot in the way, but you can see it says 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. After that, you're finally ready to look at the results. The totals are listed in the black line at the top. The first sheet calculates info about the portfolio's value, cost basis, and profit. You can also see your dividend info, like your annual income and the current yield, or how much you're raking in based on the cost. At the end of the sheet, you have extra details about each symbol's sector and portfolio weighting. On the second tab, you can check out your sector diversity to see if you have too much invested into a single sector. The top chart represents the market value breakdown for each sector, and the bottom chart represents the dividend breakdown for each sector. As you can see here, I have quite a bit of my holdings in tech stocks, but this is not a retirement account or anything, so I'm going for extremely aggressive growth. You ideally want to see about an equal amount for each slice on both charts. But if you see a big chunk in mixed funds, that's okay too, since they are inherently diversified. Moving on to the third tab, we have the stock diversity analysis. This shows you a breakdown of how much of your total market value is in each stock or fund. Ideally, you don't want a single stock having more than 10% of your portfolio. Now, I know some of you heard that and are typing out,
"But Adam, you said 10% should be the max. I see you have Apple at 20%. That's double what you said."
Trust me, I know, this is a recent development. Apple just keeps going up, especially after reaching a $2 trillion market cap, having an amazing Q2, and announcing a stock split. Also, like I said, I'm going for extremely aggressive growth in this account, so I don't really care about the risk as much. You'll also notice FXAIX and DGROW are above 10%, but this is also okay since these are diversified funds. And finally, in the last sheet, we have our dividend tracker and comparison. So here you can enter in the dividends that you actually received each month for each year, and you can compare them year to year to see how your dividends are growing or falling in some cases. I just have dummy info put in here for now because I don't personally live off dividends, so I don't really need to know this information, but it is still interesting to see. So that's it. Welcome to your shiny new dividend and portfolio tracking spreadsheet. If you have any questions about it or anything else, please let me know down in the comments and I will definitely help out. I read and respond to every single one as long as it's not negative or toxic, and I even throw in the heart too. Also let me know if there's any features that you would like to see added to this spreadsheet. I'm totally open to suggestions. Let's make this thing the best free tracker out there and spread the word. I hope this helps you reach your financial destination, or at least tell if you can afford that 20-cent iced coffee. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take it easy.